talk to you a little bit about St. Francis and what they do.
Okay, great, thanks. I'm the pastor here at the church, and as you've heard, the Franciscans have been in the neighborhood for a long, long time. And this church has been a Catholic parish for over 150 years. I've been pastor here, and I'm in my 6th year, but I've lived in over the Rhine off and on since the 1980s, so I really consider it my home. And in fact, my great-great-grandfather was one of those immigrants who came here, as they were telling you, in the wave of immigration in the 1830s, 1840s. And on the other side of my family, my Italian relatives came here right before World War I. And my grandfather worked at Grammer's restaurant, which is down here. He was the, we like to say, he was the Dago baker down in the basement, cooking strudel and cheesecake for all the Germans who came here. And he worked there until the 1960s after the baker. But anyway, the Franciscans ministry here has changed a lot over those many, many years. When it was a German parish, German neighborhood, the goal was to integrate those folks into Catholic and American society here in the United States. You see remnants of the faith in some of the devotional pictures in the windows and in the images. But the church itself is adapted now, 150 years later, to the way Catholics worship today in the United States. So that's just one change. The needs of immigrants are different, you know, from age to age. When Appalachians came down from the mountains to live here and over the Rhine in the 1960s, the church adapted again, and we did a lot of social service. And that was the beginning of a big outreach of social services here in the neighborhood. The same thing for the African Americans who found a home here shortly thereafter, and looking for work and raising families. So our services here in the neighborhood have adapted and changed a lot. Currently, the Franciscans sponsor a whole array of services. In addition to being here at the parish and staffing a school, an inner-city school of 143 children, most of whom aren't Catholic. And I always tell people, next to doing the Catholic Mass and the sacraments, the very best thing I do is to be pastor of a school with 143 great kids. And every Friday I remind them how special they are when we have our church service here. But besides that, we do a soup kitchen 3 nights a week. We have a sort of a drop-in center called Mechanical Cafe in the afternoons, every afternoon, week afternoon except Wednesday. We have a women's center to help women find empowerment in their crafts and business and kind of starting a business for themselves, jewelry making. We do emergency assistance. So many of the homeless people you see on the street here come to us for aid, and we have a trained social worker who's here 3 days a week out of an office. We also do a bag lunch program for day laborers. We used to hand out sandwiches at our front door, and we realized that was pretty duplicating the services, because you never starve in over the Rhine. Most of the people you see on the street are pretty street smart and savvy. Nobody starves here. There's other problems, though. And those problems stem from employment issues, racial issues, drug-related issues. And so the guys and gals who are trying to make a way up, you know, day laborers especially, don't have a lot to go on. So we decided to channel those lunches over to the employment centers where people come and sit for a day, you know, for a day's work. And we give those lunches away free, courtesy of other people in other parts of the city. So those are services that we offer here, and we appreciate, you know, the guys in the underground tours coming through and bringing folks to see who we are and what we do. And if you have any questions, I'll be hanging around. I'll turn it back over to Mac.
We're waiting on Jerry's group so that they can ask you some questions.
Sure.
You can also tell them when you guys have services.
Yeah, we have Sunday Mass, for those of you who are Catholic, at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. And even if you're not Catholic and you want to come and see what we do, you're most welcome. We have the doors open. We don't check IDs. I always tell my friends who are West Side Catholics, there's so many churches on the West Side, they'll never notice if you come down here. So,
Yes, ma'am.
This is the Franciscans generally. This is the closest you can get to what St. Francis wore, probably, something like this. I wear it for church services, for certain meetings, when I'm working with the kids, so people know me on the street wearing this. But I'll tell you, people also know you pretty quick after, after they see you a few times. So I wear one that's convenient mostly for religious services. It's very inconvenient in an office, but otherwise, yes. Yeah. Yes, we have a soup kitchen in the basement of the school, the cafeteria of the school. And we have a cook who is on staff, and we have a volunteer coordinator who's on staff. Everything else is volunteer. So if you want to volunteer, you